Hello and a very warm welcome to today's session brought to you by Team Testbook Supercoaching. I hope all of you are doing really well. देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से let's just quickly get started. I hope आप लोगों ने आज जो हम लोगों ने मॉर्निंग में मास्टर क्लास में क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस किए थे उनको अच्छी तरह से रिव्यू कर लिया होगा. गुड इवनिंग फातिमा, दिव्या, सिमर, रश्मि, मानसील, देवशीष, सामर, सुजीत. गुड इवनिंग एवरीबडी. देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से let's just quickly get started. This is the third day. First day Monday में हम लोगों ने questions 1 to 30 को कवर किया था. कल हम लोगों ने लाइक क्वेश्चन नंबर 31 to 50 क्वेश्चंस को कवर किया था. आज सुबह मास्टर क्लास के अंदर वी हैड कवर्ड क्वेश्चन नंबर 51 to 65 जिसमें हम लोगों ने we had also covered a passage, remember, from Johnson, which is actually trying to tell you how nature is having a cyclical process, but when we are looking at man's life it's actually linear, right? वो चीज हम लोगों ने डिस्कस करी थी जहाँ पे प्रायम का केस हम लोगों ने देखा था. हैप्पी बसंत पंचमी टू यू टू देवशीष. राइट नाउ टुडे इन द थर्ड पार्ट ऑफ टुडेज सेशन, आज का भी जो वेंसडे का सेशन है 10:30 PM पे, अभी we will be continuing with the remaining part. We will be covering your questions after 65. और जैसा हम लोगों ने मॉडर्निज्म में कहा था, today we are going to be looking at both aspects of modern isms. जो most important आपके modern isms हैं उनको एक PDF के थ्रू हम लोग कवर करेंगे and I'll be giving you a quick homework also on that. And modern poetry, because it's a bulky topic, मैं इसको आपको छोटे छोटे वीडियो नगेट्स के फॉर्मेट में, जैसे आप देखते हैं ये लाइव में जा रहा है, तो उसी तरह से एक मैंने स्मॉल मॉड्यूल बना दिया है आप लोगों के लिए जो आपको YT वीडियोस के अंदर मिल जाएगा. तो उसको आप अच्छी तरह से देख लीजिएगा. गुड इवनिंग विफ्रान, देवशीष, गुड इवनिंग एवरीबडी. तो देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से स्टार्ट करते हैं. इस वीक के लिए आपको पता है दिस वीक, ओनली फॉर दिस वीक वी आर हैविंग आवर मास्टर क्लासेस फ्रॉम वेडनेसडे टू संडे एट 9 AM. थोड़ा सा सुबह उठने की कोशिश करेंगे इस पूरे वीक में. नेक्स्ट वीक अगेन वील गो बैक टू आवर डेली आवर वीकली स्केड्यूल. जो मास्टर क्लास हमारी 10 बजे की होती है, यू डोंट हैव टू वरी अबाउट इट. लेकिन इस वीक हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, इस वीक ऑफ कोर्स वी आर meeting in the morning. Okay, Pinky, good evening, and of course Monday to Friday YT पे तो 10:30 PM पे we are of course meeting, right? These are the two books that we are looking at. आज भी जो मैं आपको most important isms का PDF towards the end. So आज हम लोग most important isms करेंगे. और जैसा कि मैंने आपको कहा कि modern poetry, because it's an important unit, modern poetry इन्हीं दोनों बुक्स से मैं आपको वीडियोस के फॉर्मेट में एक शॉर्ट क्रैश कोर्स ऑफ 5 वीडियोस मैंने बना दिया है. तो वो आपको परसों से अपलोडेड मिलेगा ताकि आप वीकेंड से मॉडर्न पोएट्री की you can actually even get started. Fine. So please keep that in mind as well. Of course, like I said, आज Wednesday modern poetry आपको वीडियोस के कॉलम में मिल जाएगा, लेकिन मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट isms वाला जो पार्ट है PDF towards the end of the session मैं आपको go through करवा दूंगी. और आपका एक छोटा सा होमवर्क भी आज है which you're going to be putting also. आप अच्छी तरह से इस पर्टिकुलर होमवर्क को करेंगे भी, ठीक है. गुड इवनिंग ज्योति. चलिए देरी नहीं करते हुए फटाफट से let's just quickly get started with the icebreaker questions first. A.S. Byatt, so when we're talking about A.S. Byatt's Possession, a Booker award-winning book, right, attempts to imitate the work of two Victorian poets loosely based on the life of, किसकी life पे based है. So when we're looking at possession is based on the life of which person are we talking about over here? So this particular work Possession, इसके अंदर it is loosely inspired from the life of. So when we are looking at this particular work, ये किससे inspired है? A lot of you have started even giving the so-called answers. Let's see how many of you are able to get this right. Let's see how many of you are able to get this right. Absolutely correct. Now see, यहाँ पर you will have to remember that all the Booker award-winning books are important. उनको अच्छी तरह से cover करना also becomes extremely critically crucial from your examination perspective. Now here both Robert Browning and Christina Rossetti, Robert Browning as well as Christina Rossetti. Robert Browning को most optimistic poet माना जाता है Victorian age का. Elizabeth Barrett Browning से he was married. Remember when we are looking at Flush by Virginia Woolf is actually based on, हम लोगों ने कल The Land किया था by Vita Sackville West and Orlando was dedicated to Vita Sackville West. Orlando by Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf is also writing Flush, which is actually trying to tell you about Elizabeth Barrett Browning's lap dog. And the lap dog is saying, Jab se Robert Browning has come to the lady's life, she is not giving any care to me at all, right? So Elizabeth Barrett Browning se connected है Robert Browning and Christina Rossetti. So both of them are there. Both of them are actually there. So when we are looking at इसकी movie भी है, it won the Booker Prize also. It was adapted into a film that you were able to see. There was also a radio play that ran on, this particular work that you were able to look at. You can watch, maybe over the weekend if you want to watch. It's a very interesting movie also. ये दो parallel timelines पे है. There are two research scholars basically who are trying to go back, and then they figure out, this mysterious love affair between these two Victorian poets altogether. ठीक है, तो दो parallel timelines पे चल रहा है कैसे ये दो research scholars जो research कर रहे हैं, they discover the love story and they also actually fall in love with each other. So that is what you're able to actually see that. ठीक है, so of course you're able to see Roland Mitchell, Maud Bailey, ये आपके modern academicians हैं, research scholars हैं, right? And they are trying to find out about Randolph Henry Ashe as well as Christabel Mott, right? So that is how there are two parallel lines. One is the current scenario, the other is the two parallel people that they're trying to research about, okay? And Roland reads a book that once belonged to Randolph, and he discovers about this romantic letter in between those books pages. He figures out this romantic letter to Christabel. He seeks out Maud, who's an expert on Christabel, because that Maud has been looking at Christabel. So इस तरह से दो parallel connections आपके आ जाते हैं. So please keep that in mind that Christina Rossetti as well as Robert Browning, those are the two people on whom it's loosely modeled. Your Randolph Henry Ashe and Christabel Lamont. So please keep that in mind. And Christina Rossetti, part of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, Blessed Damsel, so this is of course written by D.G. Rossetti. And when we are looking at Christina Rossetti, when we talk about Goblin Market is actually creating, except for the goblins who are there, you are not able to find any men. So women solidarity, Lizzie Laura ka character, temptations, that is also important. The Dark Lady of the Sonnets is a short comedy by. This is a short comedy by. So Shakespeare was writing sonnets, and some of his sonnets are dedicated to the Dark Lady that we are looking at. So the Dark Lady of Sonnets, ये जो comedy है, ये किसने लिखा है? Who's the writer who's writing the Dark Lady of the Sonnet? The Dark Lady of the Sonnet. The Dark Lady of the Sonnet is written by. Right. Bernard Shaw is absolutely the right answer. George Bernard Shaw is absolutely the right answer. George Bernard Shaw is the correct answer that you're able to see. So, Dark Lady of the Sonnet, जो आपका है, it's actually trying to tell you about William Shakespeare, Queen Elizabeth's first meeting. Okay, it's supposed to be this. So again, when we look at it, it's going back. ये हो गया या Shakespeare in Love by Tom Stoppard हो गया. They're all trying to bring back. They're all trying to be fictional narratives, so to say. They're going back to the life of Shakespeare. They're trying to recreate that entire life that you're able to actually see over here. I'll hide myself so that you can see this other part as well. So ये आपका Dark Lady of the Sonnets, G.B. Shaw लिख रहा है. This is a short play by G.B. Shaw. Okay, this is a short play that is coming from the pen of G.B. Shaw. G.B. Shaw is the person who's writing it. Which two novels of Buchi and Chetta, the Nigerian writer that we were talking about, provides a fictionalized portrait of poor young Nigerian women struggling to bring up their children in London? हम लोगों ने कहा था Buchi and Chetta, immigrants as well as, she's talking about the immigrants as well as the so-called native Nigerian women and practices that we're able to see. तो ये चीज of course आपको थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखनी है. Hi Akash, hi. What is the correct answer over here? What becomes the correct answer over here? So which two novels of Buchi and Chetta, they are providing a fictionalized portrait of the poor young women that you're able to look at. So what is the correct answer over here? What becomes the right answer over here? जल्दी से देख के बताइएगा. Now a lot of times अभी explanation में भी मैंने actually joys of motherhood का ही explanation दिया है, but you have to be very careful that actually the two words which is trying to tell you about London immigrants. So देखो, जॉयस ऑफ मदरहुड इज नॉट रियली नेसेसरली इंटायरली सेट इन लंदन। यहाँ पे उन्होंने कैटेगोरिकली लिखा है नाइजीरियन वुमेन ट्राइंग टू स्ट्रगल टू मेक अ लाइफ इन लंदन। ओके, सो यहाँ पर आपका सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन एंड इन द डिच, सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन एंड इन द डिच आपका जो आता है दैट इज कमिंग। जॉयस ऑफ मदरहुड का भी मैं एक्सप्लेनेशन भी बताऊंगी बिकॉज इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट, बट बिकॉज दे हैव रिटन इन लंदन, बिकॉज दे हैव रिटन इन लंदन, तो आपका सेकंड क्लास सिटीजन एंड इन द डिच ये लंदन के women जो पुअर हैं, they're struggling, they're trying to keep their two ends meet all together. So when we are looking at this, the entire figure or entire aspect of Bucci and Sheta, there are a couple of things that you'll have to remember. Enjoys the motherhood, of course, इसका इनका एक बहुत ही important work बन जाता है. Let's just take a look at it. Of course, Nigerian writer, was in UK also. She's writing all sorts of narratives altogether, stories of the world where women face universal problems of poverty, oppression, and the longer they stay, no matter where they've come from originally, the more problems become identical. So again, they're trying to define, they're trying to tell you about how particularly the women concerns are highlighted. यही हम लोग अभी कर रहे थे, याद है क्लासरूम क्लास में we were talking about in the post colonial literature का sectional test. What were we discussing? We were discussing about Flora Navapa, है ना? हम Flora Navapa के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे थे, कैसे Furu, the work by Flora Navapa is coming, considered to be the mother of African writings in a particular way that we were able to see. No worries, Soumya, no worries at all. थोड़ा सा इसलिए भी careful रहना है. So joys of motherhood, of course, no doubt, you are absolutely right. Okay, it was a very important work, but this is a Bildungsroman. The necessity for a woman to be fertile, to give birth to sons altogether. ये सारी चीजें बताई जा रही हैं. Nigerian women, who's the Nigerian woman? Inu's life is centered around her children throughout them. So how a woman is getting a respect only if she's fertile, only if she's able to produce sons so that they can perpetuate the lineage altogether. ये सारी चीजें motherhood को celebrate किया जा रहा है in a particular way. तो अफ्रीकन मदरहुड दिखाया जा रहा है, लंदन कम्युनिटी नहीं है, इसीलिए इनर डिच एंड सेकंड क्लास सिटीजंस वो वाले आंसर के सही जवाब थे. बट यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट द जॉयस ऑफ मदरहुड इज लाइक वो होता है ना, नेट में अगर कोई आंसर नहीं पता है तो मोस्ट फेमिलियर को आपने टिक करना है. तो दैट मींस यू पीपल वर एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट दैट जॉयस ऑफ मदरहुड इज अ मोर वेल नोन वर्क ऑल टुगेदर दैट वी आर एबल टू सी. इस तरह से आप माइंड मैप्स भी बना सकते हैं. यही अभी हम लोग डिस्कस भी कर रहे थे कि कैसे ये विमेन राइटर्स, व्हाट आर दे ट्राइंग टू टेल यू, दे आर ट्राइंग टू क्रिटिकली टेल यू अबाउट हम लोग भी अभी फाउंडेशन बैच में रिमेंबर वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट हाउ दीज राइटर्स आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पॉलीगमी, the so called story which is actually written from a middle aged widow's perspective as well. तो ये चीजें ऑफ कोर्स अफ्रीकन सोसाइटी के अंदर हो रही थी. एंड इनुइगो किस तरह से इनुइगो का कैरेक्टर है, एंड द फर्स्ट हस्बैंड इज देयर, द सेकंड हस्बैंड इज देयर, व्हाट ऑल प्रॉब्लम्स एंड challenges are being faced, and how in the first marriage she's not able to produce, but second marriage she's considered to be fertile, so that is where she's actually getting the entire so called reverence from. गॉड इज रेफर्ड टू एज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इमोर्टल्स. कल भी हम लोगों ने ये वर्क को किया था. yesterday also we had looked at the work by this particular writer when we were looking at it. So the president of immortals, the president of immortals कहाँ पर रेफर किया जाता है? The presidents of immortals, the president of immortals altogether, the presidents of immortal. Yes, very quickly. Yes, Test of the Uber Wheels is the correct answer. Test of the Uber Wheels is absolutely the correct answer. So again, Thomas Hardy, another important writer that we're able to see. He was, of course, acclaimed. Therefore, he's buried at the Poets' Corner in Westminster's Abbey. That's the amount of respect that he was given. ये आपको ये चीज याद रखनी है that how we are able to see that when we are looking at Hardy is presenting a different portrait which is a little negative overall. टेस्ट हो गया, जूट द द ऑब्सक्योर हो गया, ये सारे के सारे वर्क्स आर ऑफ कोर्स इंपॉर्टेंट, हार्डी के मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क्स हैं. You need to know about each and every character in Thomas Hardy's works all together. So Jude the Obscure से question आते हैं, Mayor of Casterbridge से आते हैं, या Tessa the Uberville से आते हैं. So we need to know all of these works all together in greater detail, and all the characters who are coming, Angel's character, Alex's character. So Tess जो है, Tess the beautiful loyal young woman living with a poor family in the village of Marlott, has got a keen sense of responsibility altogether. Angel Clare, Alec Duberville, John D'Urberfield, Joanne D'Urberfield, Mrs. D'Urberville, Marianne, all the characters are of course critically important. तो आप देख लो characters हर एक में, चाहे वो Inuigo का character हो Joys of Motherhood by Bucci M. Chetta में, या फिर Tess का character हो, Angel का character हो, Alec का character हो, Tess of the Ubervilles, Jude the Obscure, ये सब आपको पता होनी चाहिए. Okay? The phrase loud color, देखो color क्या होता है, color हम देखते हैं, right? And loudness हम क्या करते हैं, हम सुनते हैं. So what is happening over here? Loud color, there is a mismatch that you are able to see of two important senses. So your hearing power as well as your seeing power, they are getting attached. So what is this figure of speech called as? Loud color. The phrase loud color, इसको क्या बोला जाता है? What is this called? Wilfran is right. Synesthesia. Synesthesia is absolutely the correct answer. Wilfran is absolutely correct over here. So synesthesia क्या है? When you are blending, right, or there is a confusion between the senses altogether. So when we are talking about color, color आप देखते हो. We say ना, we are colorblind, so you cannot get a driving license. Whereas loudness is something that you're able to hear. So there are two things that are getting merged together. There are two things that are getting merged together. Therefore, Rashmi, it is synesthesia. It's synesthesia. Please remember this. Book 5 of the Prelude, Wordsworth dreams of an Arab in the desert after reading which great work? Wordsworth जो है, he is dreaming of an Arab in a desert after reading which great work? Which great work को read करते ही he starts dreaming of an Arab. This is a very important book और इसका explanation quickly भी आपको देखना चाहिए, because world literature को जब आप cover करते हैं, this work actually becomes really important, right? What is this work that we're talking about? Yes, Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote. Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote. Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. This is absolutely the correct answer. No, it is not Rime of the Ancient Mariner. That is Samuel Purchas's Pilgrimage, right? So Purchas's Pilgrimage पढ़ते पढ़ते जो आपका कुबला खां लिखा जाता है by Coleridge, that is absolutely different. Okay, so here you'll have to keep that in mind, that this is Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote that we're talking about. Okay, again, when we are looking at world literature, when we're talking about world writings, इसका importance तो of course important हो ही जाता है. Okay, world literature के अंतर्गत, world writings के अंतर्गत, of course this work is of prime importance. I'll hide myself so that you'll be able to see this also a little better overall. So Don Quixote जो आपका आ रहा है, how you are able to see that this so-called Don Quixote, he reads about chivalric romances and he is actually trying to recreate that. और इनका जो the so-called Sancho Panza, he's recruiting the simple farmer as the squire and again trying to employ these methods overall. So Don Quixote, that is exactly where he has the Arab dreaming in a desert, dreaming about the Arab in a desert. तो ये please याद रखिएगा, Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote, ये work आपके लिए important हो जाता है over here. Which novel did James Joyce called English Ulysses? James Joyce ने English Ulysses किसको कहा है? कल ही हम लोगों ने कैरेक्टर किया था, remember Zuri and Friday का कैरेक्टर इस वर्क में आ रहा है. Zuri and Friday, Man Friday is being taught by Robinson Crusoe. We just did this particular question also yesterday. So कौन सा work? Yes, we are absolutely right. Okay, I unintentionally gave the answer. That is absolutely the correct answer. So James Joyce is calling Robinson Crusoe to be an example of what he's calling as English Ulysses. ठीक है, English Ulysses इसको बोला जा रहा है. दोनों को ही देख लीजिएगा please, James Joyce and Robinson Crusoe को, and all of these works are also equally important that you'll have to cover. Identify the play from among the following in which a spendthrift young man auctions away the portraits of his ancestors. ठीक है, the play, this is a play that we are talking about today. We looked at, remember we looked at poets, two important African poets also that we talked about, one from Nigeria, the other who's actually a Kenyan gay rights poet. हम लोगों ने foundation batch में किया था. Here जल्दी से बताइए, Identify the play from among the following where spendthrift young man auctions away the portraits of his ancestors. The School for Scandal. Raj Singh, Divya, everybody has got the right answer. The School for Scandal is the correct answer. R.D. Sheridan ka The School for Scandal. The School for Scandal. बाकी भी important works है. You will have to Gadsworthy का Strife हो जाए, Taming of the Shrew हो जाए, Philanderer हो जाए. They're all important. But this is the School for Scandal. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, इसको आप प्लीज नोट डाउन कर लीजिएगा. के एस मनियम इज अ मेजर राइटर ऑफ इंडियन ओरिजिन राइटिंग इन इंग्लिश, वाज बोर्न एंड लिविंग इन मलेशिया. ही इज अ डायस्पोरिक राइटर. तो आप अपनी डायस्पोरिक राइटिंग के नोट्स के अंदर भी प्लीज ऐड के एस मनियम. डायस्पोरिक लिटरेचर के जो आपने नोट्स बनाए हैं उसके अंदर ये प्लीज ऐड कर दीजिएगा. आइडेंटिफाई टू ऑफ हिज नॉवेल्स फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग. यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई टू ऑफ द नॉवेल्स from the following. Which are the two novels that you are able to see that are written by K.S. Maniam? K.S. Maniam कौन से works को लिख रहे हैं? I'll give you a hint. The Return is a work that he has written. Very good, very good, very good. Return, very good, Rashmi. Absolutely right. And Between Lives and Return, ये दोनों K.S. Maniam के works हैं. So K.S. Maniam is the writer that we're talking about of Indian origin, who's from Malaysia. Okay. In Eugene Ionesco's chairs, the absurdity is not much in the banal words that are uttered, but where it is not so much. Chairs के अंदर Ionesco absurd literature, so absurd writings के अंदर भी you can actually put it, right? Arthur Adamov, Eugene O'Neill, all of these are of course Eugene Ionesco. They're all very important writers that we're able to see who are coming under this tradition. So what is the correct answer over here? What becomes the correct answer? In Eugene Ionesco's chess, the absurdity is not much in the banal words that are uttered, but where is the absurdity coming? Where is the absurdity coming? Absurdity कहाँ पर आ रही है? Where are you able to see the absurdity coming? In the large-scale use of frightening stage props, in the absurdist interpretation of them, where character after character, in the fact that they are spoken to ever-growing number of empty chairs. इसमें तो बिल्कुल डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए था. अगर आपको समरी पता है कि क्या हो रहा है, अगर आपको समरी पता है कि क्या हो रहा है, मैंने आपको टेलीग्राम प्लेटफॉर्म पे ना एक बुक दी है विच इज लिटरेरी मूवमेंट्स फॉर स्टूडेंट्स. अगर आप टेलीग्राम प्लेटफॉर्म पे जाएंगे, चाहे इंग्लिश लिटरेचर हस्टर्स पे जाएं या नीरजा मैम टेक्स्ट जिस पे भी जाएं, वहां पर टेलीग्राम पे मैंने आपको एक पूरी की पूरी बुक शेयर करी गई है about student movements. I've shared this book, about student movements, at least for student movements, literary movements for students, literary movements for students करके एक book है. Just take a look at that. और उसमें अब उसको भी एक एक movement को हर रोज पढ़ने का target कीजिए. So you'll be able to see Ionesco's का chairs. The number of chairs is rapidly increasing, right? Rhinoceros में everybody is converting into rhinoceros. That's causing absurdity. हर एक absurd play में absurd element क्या है? आज यही हम लोग रिमेंबर फाउंडेशन बैच के अंदर कर रहे थे. Alessio Carpentier is the person who's coining properly the term of magical realism. जब हम लैटिन अमेरिकन लिटरेचर के क्वेश्चंस को कर रहे थे, बॉर्गस को किया था, राइट, एंड देन कार्पेंटर के क्वेश्चन को देखा था. सो मैजिकल रियलिज्म इज ऑल्सो अप्लाइंग द एलिमेंट ऑफ सुपरनैचुरल फैंटास्मगोरिया विद इन द मैट्रिक्स ऑफ रियलिज्म. वही चीज आप देख पा रहे हैं. इन जॉन कावर्स कन्फेसियो मैंटिस, Ammon's the lover makes his confession to the priest called what? John Gower's Confessio Mantis. Amos is making, आपको तीनों phases पता होनी चाहिए जॉन गावर की करियर के अंदर. So William Langland, John Gower, Chaucer, the three very important people. Chaucer के contemporaries भी बोला जाता है Wycliffe, Gower and Langland को, तो ये भी चीज ध्यान में रखिएगा. What is the name? Genius is absolutely the right answer. Very good, Devashish. Genius is absolutely the right answer. Confessio Mantis के अंदर the priest named Genius. Who wrote The Wandering Jew, a poem in 4 cantos? The Wandering Jew soliloquy, right? ये किसने लिखा है? और इसके बाद हम जल्दी से ये आइसब्रेक के क्वेश्चंस आपके खत्म हो गए, फिर आपके वही जो 120 कॉन्सेप्ट्स वाले क्वेश्चंस है वही से हम कंटिन्यू करेंगे. अब जल्दी से बताइए what becomes the correct answer over here? PB Shelley is the right answer. To just make sure that we are on track over here. So these were of course your icebreaker questions. questions, they were over and above. They were over and above your 120 concepts that we are doing this week. They are over and above 120 concepts. So please इनको revise कर लीजिएगा. Try questions related to Bucci and Chetta, John Gower right now that we looked at, or any other question that we've done so far. Please make sure that you make a note of it. Like we've looked at an Indian diasporic writer as well. तो एक बार पूरा अच्छी तरह से देख लीजिएगा. Don Quixote वगैरह जो भी चीजें आई हैं. Now coming on to the next question, question number 66. So 51 to 65 we had covered it in the morning 9 o'clock master class. मैंने लीडर बोर्ड का रिजल्ट्स भी भेज दिए थे. वी हैड वेरी डिफरेंट मिक्स ऑफ पीपल. आई थिंक आप लोग काफी सारे लोग उठ भी नहीं पाए थे. इसी हफ्ते की बात है. प्लीज 9 o'clock उठ जाइएगा. ठीक है. चलिए. इन Gustav Flaubert, Madame Bovary, under what pretext does Emma go every week for a clandestine meeting with Leon in Rion? ये बहुत ही सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है. दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. नोबडी शुड गेट इट रॉन्ग एट ऑल बिकॉज इट इज बीइंग डन मल्टीपल टाइम्स. ओके. Under what pretext? Under what pretext is it going? वेरी नाइस आकाश खत्री. देन लैंड इज द करेक्ट आंसर बच्चे. ठीक है. और अगर आपने DSSS का भी पेपर दिया है आकाश खत्री बच्चे, अगर आपको डिस्कस करना है पेपर को, यू कैन डेफिनेटली राइट टू अस. वी विल डेफिनेटली डिस्कस द पेपर. वेरी नाइस आकाश. वेरी नाइस. यस. अंडर द प्रीटेक्स्ट ऑफ टेकिंग पियानो लेसन्स. अंडर द प्रीटेक्स्ट ऑफ टेकिंग पियानो लेसन्स. सो मदाम बुवारी, देखिए 19th सेंचुरी नॉवेल्स में आपको वैसे भी बोली जा रही हूँ बार बार, जो आपके 19th सेंचुरी नॉवेल्स हैं ये आपके लिए बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. आपकी जो 19th century novels है, these are very important for all of you that you will have to keep in mind. अब इन 19th century novels के अंदर आपको क्या क्या याद रखना है कि representation of women, women कैसे assert करें अपने आप को. Emma Bovary, right, went every week for a clandestine meeting with Leon in Rion under the pretext of taking piano lessons. Her husband is a very simple person altogether. He later discovers Emma's letters, you know, after her death altogether. That is how we are able to see. Subtitle क्या है? Provincial manners. French language में लिखा है, French literature के अंदर, right? Gustav Flaubert's writings. Identify two books by Ambai, C.S. Lakshmi, published in English. Right? So ये जल्दी से बताइए. Ambai. Indian English Writings and Translations. कल फाउंडेशन बैच का नया यूनिट स्टार्ट हो रहा है. इंडियन राइटिंग्स. अभी तक हम पोस्ट कॉलोनियल लिटरेचर को कवर कर रहे थे. उसमें काफी सारे एलिमेंट्स और भी हम लोग देखेंगे आगे आने वाले टाइम में. So here I want everybody to make sure that you know आप इन सारे चीजों को भी अच्छी तरह से एक बार देखें. बट लेट्स जस्ट सी. Okay, Sujit has got the right answer. Good try, Sujit. Good try, Sujit. So when we are talking about here a purple sea and in a forest deer, this is absolutely the right answer over here. So a purple sea, short stories by Ambai, and a forest deer, stories by Ambai. These are two books by C.S. Lakshmi Ambai that were published in English translations that you were able to see. Ambai is writing in Tamil, is writing in English also. Okay. So in a forest deer as well as a purple sea. A stride the wheel, ये चंद्रशेखर रथ का लिखा गया है. And going home is by A. American, right? So a stride a wheel, in case if you are not able to see, I'm just writing it. This is a work that is coming from the pen of Chandrasekhar Rath. Chandrasekhar Rath is writing this particular work. ठीक है. तो ये पूरा का पूरा पर्पल सी एंड यू नो इन अ फॉरेस्ट डियर, ये वाला वर्क आपका आ रहा है. ठीक है. Elizabeth Barrett Browning sonnets from Portuguese is what? Sonnets from Portuguese is what? Elizabeth Barrett Browning sonnets from Portuguese is what? Sonnets from Portuguese is what? What is sonnets from Portuguese? What is sonnets from Portuguese? What is sonnets from Portuguese? Sonnets from Portuguese क्या है? What is sonnets from Portuguese? It is a sequence of 44 Petrarchan sonnets. This is absolutely true. To give you a hint, तो जहां जहां पर वन नहीं है उसमें तो आप elimination method use करके you can actually eliminate the right answer. A rewriting of Popian didactic words. This is not there. So second नहीं है. Second जहां पर है आप उसको eliminate कर सकते हैं, right? You can actually eliminate this also altogether. A depiction of contemporary setting in small events of ordinary life. Ordinary life को depict किया जाता है. A scathing criticism of British colonial enterprise, ये नहीं हो रहा है. कल हम लोगों ने ये भी देखा था. Remember Ignatius Sancho का जो question आया था. So here both these are the correct answers. So sonnet from Portuguese, 44 sonnets depicting contemporary setting में simple ordinary life that you're able to see. ओके, दिस इज वेरी सिंपल। अगर आप लोग अटेंटिव हैं तो आज पता चल जाएगा कि वेदर यू आर अटेंटिव और नॉट, राइट, वेदर यू आर अटेंटिव और नॉट। इनो ईगो ये जो कैरेक्टर है, वेर आर वी एबल टू सी इनो ईगोस कैरेक्टर, वेर आर वी एबल टू सी इनो ईगोस कैरेक्टर, इनो ईगोस कैरेक्टर, वेर आर वी एबल टू सी इनो ईगोस कैरेक्टर, इनोइगोस कैरेक्टर बुचियम शेटर, द जॉयज ऑफ मदरहुड, राइट, द जॉयज ऑफ मदरहुड के अंदर बाकी सारे वर्क्स, यू नो, चिनवाचबे, सैंटल्स ऑफ समाना, अदीचीज हाफ ऑफ अ येलो सन, बायफ्रन वॉर, ये भी क्वेश्चन अभी हम लोगों ने करा था 8:30 PM की क्लास में। बेन ओक्री इज नॉट राइटिंग जॉयज ऑफ मदरहुड, बेन ओक्री इज राइटिंग द फैमिश रोड विच इज गेटिंग द बुकर प्राइज, एंड दैट इज ऑल्सो important, ठीक है। So please remember that Inoigo is the character in Nigerian writer Buchiam Shetta, who's writing Second Class Citizens, स्लेव गर्ल, जॉयज ऑफ मदरहुड, ये सारे के सारे कैरेक्टर्स, सारे के सारे और वर्क्स हैं। Okay, this I think is not clear. So, okay, moving on to the next one. In Ulysses, Leopold Bloom works for a Dublin what? All right, Ulysses is working for a Dublin what? What is he working for? What is he working for? What is he working for? What is the correct answer over here? What is the correct answer over here? In Ulysses, Leopold Bloom works for what? Leopold Bloom works for what? Leopold Bloom is working for what? Leopold Bloom is working for what? Yes, absolutely right. Leopold Bloom is working for a newspaper. Okay, Leopold Bloom is working for a newspaper. Please remember that. So Ulysses, Leopold Bloom जो है, he's working for a Dublin newspaper, right? Irish writer James Joyce that we're able to see. Finnegan's Wake, Dubliners short story collection, Araby भी याद रख लीजिएगा. He's working for the newspaper company. Which pair of the plays belongs to the early career of Harold Pinter? 75 क्वेश्चंस तक कर लेते हैं हम लोग, क्योंकि मुझे आपको वो जो इजम्स का पीडीएफ भी दिखाना है अभी, जिसमें से आपका एक छोटा सा होमवर्क है जिसको हम कल डिस्कस करेंगे। विच पेयर ऑफ द प्लेस बिलोंग्स टू द अर्ली करियर ऑफ हैरोल्ड पिंटर? विच इज बिलोंगिंग टू द अर्ली करियर ऑफ हैरोल्ड पिंटर? विच इज बिलोंगिंग टू द अर्ली करियर ऑफ हैरोल्ड पिंटर? विच इज बिलोंगिंग टू द अर्ली करियर ऑफ हैरोल्ड पिंटर? जल्दी से बताइए, व्हाट बिकम्स द करेक्ट आंसर? अर्ली पीरियड ऑफ हैरोल्ड पिंटर। So caretaker is definitely a part of it. So automatically you'll use the elimination method and you will be able to eliminate that, as well as the room. ठीक है, तो caretaker and the room, caretaker and the room ये आपके early works में included है, ठीक है। caretaker and the room जो आ रहा है, they are belonging to the early period. Harold Bloom is associated with comedy of menace. What is Harold Bloom associated with? Harold Bloom is associated with comedy of menace altogether. So caretaker कब perform हुआ था? 1957 में. Room कब perform हुआ था? 1960 के अंदर. Okay, so please remember that altogether. बाकी works, birthday party, homecoming, betrayal, ये सारे के सारे important works हैं जो आ रहे हैं. Okay, who among the following contemporaries of John Donne wrote the following lines on his death? Here lies a king that ruled as though he fit, as he thought fit, the universal monarch of wit. The universal monarch of wit. What are we talking about? Monarch of wit. Monarch of wit John Donne किसके लिए use करते हैं? Monarch of wit John Donne किसके लिए? Very good Raj Singh. Very good. Raj Singh के कुछ questions बिल्कुल सही आए हैं आज. Excellent. Good try, Raj Singh. Very nice. Very nice, Raj Singh. Absolutely right. Thomas Carew is the right answer. Thomas Carew is the right answer. It's called the monarch of wit. So Carew, here lies a king that ruled as thought fit, the universal monarch of wit. Right. So Carew is the one that we're able to see over here. He is known for a rupture, loves courtship. ये भी 17th century poetry के छोटे छोटे crisp notes बना लीजिएगा. That will definitely help you out. In his poem Australia, A.D. Hope says that Australia is what? What is A.D. Hope talking about? Classroom students, इसको भी आप अपने पोस्ट कॉलोनियल लिटरेचर के नोट्स के अंदर ऐड कर लीजिएगा, क्योंकि सेक्शनल कट जो वर्कशीट्स है इसमें मैंने ये वाला क्वेश्चन नहीं इंक्लूड किए हैं. आई हैव इंक्लूडेड द अदर वंस. तो जो हम लोग यहाँ पर कर रहे हैं उसको आप प्लीज नोट कर लीजिएगा. ओके, चलिए जल्दी से बताइए, व्हाट इज द करेक्ट आंसर ओवर हियर? What becomes the correct? Very good, Simar. Very nice. Simar has given a good try. Simar has given a very good try altogether. Australia is without songs, architecture, and history. Her 5 cities are like 5 dry rivers. The poet turns to her to find the Arabian desert, the human mind, hoping if it's still. She's the first of lands, the warmest note. That is not said. Okay, that is not said. So A.D. Hope ka Australia, trying to define Australia altogether. Alec Derwent Hope, Book of Answers भी लिख रहे हैं ये, वॉन्डरिंग आइलैंड्स भी इन्होंने लिखा है, which was the first important work that was published by him. So without songs in architecture and history, to find the Arabian desert of the human mind, hoping if from the desert prophets come. Right, that's there. Last question for today, then I'm going to be sharing the PDF with all of you. Basic English, a simplified and fundamental framework of English, was formulated by. Who is formulating this? ये भी हम लोगों ने कर रखा है. Basic English was formulated by. So Basic English, when we are looking at it, ये किसके द्वारा formulated था? Who was formulating Basic English? Who was formulating Basic English? In the meantime, I'll quickly open the isms PDF for all of you. ताकि उसको एक बार मैं आपको go through करवा दूंगी, so that you'll be able to go over it again. Yes, चलिए जल्दी बताइए, what is the correct answer? What is the correct answer over here? Yes, Raj Singh is on fire. Right, very nice, very nice. So IA Richards and CK Origin, IA Richards and CK Origin both are there. Basic English, Simplified English कि भाई ये अगर 2000 words आपको पता चल गए तो आपको English आप बोल पाएंगे, Basic English बोल पाएंगे. So Basic English, a general introduction with rules and grammar, which was a project by Origin as well as IA Richards. Both of them were actually coming together. अब 2 मिनट में मैं आपको जल्दी से इंट्रोड्यूस कर देती हूँ, ठीक है. 75 क्वेश्चंस हो गए हैं. कुछ हम लोग कल मास्टर क्लास में मैंने आपके लिए एक डिफरेंट वर्कशीट बनाई है, तो ये वाली क्वेश्चंस कल हम वाईटी पे कंटिन्यू करेंगे. 9 o'clock मास्टर क्लास तो है ही है, बट वन पीडीएफ क्विकली आई वांट टू शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू. देखिए, और आज का आपका होमवर्क भी यही है. व्हाट यू बेसिकली हैव टू डू इज you have to ensure, ठीक है, you have to ensure. I will quickly share my screen with all of you so that you'll be able to see the screen also a little better once it's done. Okay. Yeah, I hope you're able to see the screen properly. I'll quickly introduce. अब आपने आज क्या करना है, आपका ये होमवर्क है, और कल हम लोग इसको अच्छी तरह से भी देखेंगे. I'll probably come over here so that it will be a little better for all of you to see this a little better. Yeah. अच्छा, कल हम लोग इसको अच्छी तरह से भी डिस्कस करेंगे. आज I want all of you to put it in the comment section. हम लोग आज साइरलिज्म, डाडाइज्म, फाओइज्म को देखेंगे, फ्यूचरिज्म को देखेंगे, वॉटिसिज्म को देखेंगे. I want you to write down all the isms that we will be talking about today in the comment section. Who are the people associated with it? And is there any newsletter or any literary magazine? तो 3 चीजें आपने करनी है कमेंट सेक्शन में. वैसे जो भी whatever you are writing, for instance, if I am Rashmi or I am Zamar, what will I write? I will put first point number 1 surrealism, किससे associated है, कौन सा literary movement है, second Faoism, third जो भी हम लोग isms अभी कर रहे हैं, जो भी isms अभी मैं आपको PDF के थ्रू दिखा रही हूँ. Okay, so surrealism, sur means beyond and real means beyond the reality altogether that you are going. This was influenced by Dadaism. Dadaism, nonsense, right? Everything is futile, having no meaning whatsoever. ठीक है, तो surrealism जो movement था ये किससे associated है? A, it was inspired by Dadaist movement, but ये associated किससे है? It is associated with Andre Breton, and Andre Breton is publishing the Surrealist Manifesto. Andre Breton, I will increase the so-called this thing also so that you can see it a little better. Andre Breton, I hope you're able to see. Andre Breton is coming up with the Surrealist Manifesto. Surrealist Manifesto classroom students के पास ये होगा भी, ये PDF होगा भी classroom students के पास. So Andre Breton is coming with the Surrealist Manifesto. Please remember that. And second, please keep that in mind that they were also inspired by Sigmund Freud. They were also inspired by Sigmund Freud. दोबारा से वीडियो को देख के पॉइंटर्स आप कंपाइल भी कर लीजिएगा, तो प्लीज कीप दैट इन माइंड. एंड व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट Salvador Dali का द persistence of memory, Salvador Dali ka. So first point, Surrealism, Andre Breton, the Surrealist Manifesto, 1924, inspired by Sigmund Freud. Second point. Third, the persistence of memory by Salvador Dali. That is actually an example that you're able to see, or rather had a very important influence on Surrealism. ठीक है, तो ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है. आई होप आपको ये क्लियरली याद रहेगा. ये सारे पॉइंटर्स दोबारा से रिव्यू हो रहे हैं यहाँ पर. सिगमंड फ्रॉइड, आंद्रे ब्रिटॉन, सैल्वाडोर डाली, persistence of memory. ये आपको सररियलिज्म से याद रखनी है. कई बार आपको पुट देम इन ऑर्डर आता है, जैसे आपकी फेमस क्रोनोलॉजी क्वेश्चंस, तो आपको पता होना चाहिए दिस इज इन 1924, ठीक है। सेकेंड मूवमेंट फॉर टुडे, क्यूबिज्म। अब क्यूबिज्म में क्या होता है, सबसे ज्यादा लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं, उनको लगता है कि आप क्यूब्स बना रहे हैं। नहीं, आप क्यूब्स नहीं बना रहे हैं, यू आर नॉट मेकिंग क्यूब्स, लेकिन क्यूबिकल फिगर्स से जो आपका एवेंटगार्ड आर्ट आता है, एवेंटगार्ड लिटरेचर आ रहा है, मॉडर्न लिटरेचर आ रहा है, दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज योर क्यूबिस्ट मूवमेंट ऑल टुगेदर। एंड प्लीज याद रखिएगा, you know, the name that is associated with cubism is Pablo Picasso. Pablo Picasso, however, Berg, now you know, yahan par Georges Braque is also associated with the cubist movement altogether. Picasso ka Les, you know, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon is an example that shows cubist manifesto. और ये सारे avant-garde movement क्योंकि पेंटिंग में भी यूज हो रहे हैं, तो यू कैन सी द पेंटिंग डिजाइंस आल्सो ओवर हियर, ठीक है। सो प्लीज रिमेंबर पैब्लो पिकासो बराक बाय क्यूबिज्म, ये आपको ध्यान में रखना है। और बेस्ट हिंट मैं आपको बताऊं, ये जो होमवर्क आप करेंगे कमेंट सेक्शन पे लिखने का, इसकी बेस्ट स्ट्रैटेजी है, आप अपनी ऑक्सफोर्ड कंपेनियन टू लिटरेरी टर्म्स, ऑक्सफोर्ड कंपेनियन नॉट टू इंग्लिश लिटरेचर बट ऑक्सफोर्ड कंपेनियन टू लिटरेरी टर्म्स बाय क्रिस बैल्डिक को ओपन कीजिएगा। यू नो, सैरियलिज्म, क्यूबिज्म, क्योंकि कल आप लोग जब यूट्यूब पे हम लोग दोबारा से आएंगे, विल बी डिस्कसिंग दिस, ठीक है। So please remember that. And Baraka house, you know, house at La Estake is an example, you know, of cubism that you are able to see over here. ठीक है? तो cubism, Pablo Picasso and Barak. Pablo Picasso and Barak, cubism, avant-garde art movement that you are able to see. Okay? Fauvism. Now Fauvism आप किस किस से associated है? हेनरी मटीस से associated है। किससे इंस्पायर्ड था? Surrealism was inspired by Dadaism. Surrealism was inspired by Dadaism. Fauvism किससे inspired है? Fauvism is inspired by Impressionism. 11 हो गया, by the way. You can also make a wish altogether, and today's wish should be really good because you know this is your Basant Panchami wish also that you are able to see. So please make sure that you know all of you make good wishes, all of you pray altogether better, right? Okay. Now, when we are looking at, when we are talking about, when we are trying to understand Fauvism, Fauvism किससे inspired था? Impressionism से inspired था. Henry Matisse was associated with it. And please remember, ये लोग क्या कहे जाते थे? Fauvists. Now, इनकी painting कैसी आ रही थी? You know, they were using lightning. They were using these imageries. जैसे अगर यहाँ पर मैं आपको ये ट्यूब लाइट दिखा पाऊंगी, तो modern Fauvists, the way that they would have an appeal, जिस तरह से lightning they will show all together, that is another thing that you were able to look at, ठीक है। So देवशीष, even if you don't have basic, ये जो चीजें भी मैं बता रही हूँ अभी, आप इनको ही लिख लीजिएगा, that is more than enough, you don't have to worry about it. So vivid colors दे रहे थे, different एकदम style of writing था। I'll show you an example. जैसे for instance, I don't know if you can see that this is very colorful all together. तो you know इस तरह का जो बहुत ही एकदम it comes to the eyes all together, या फिर you know इस तरह का, this is of course not there, this is like more like our Indian art altogether, but it just comes in the color, you know, it is just on your eyes altogether. That sort of color is coming when we are looking at the Faust, ठीक है। So Faust, wild beasts एक तरह से आपके हो गए हैं। सो ये प्लीज याद रखिएगा, हेनरी मैटीज इज एसोसिएटेड, किस तरह से फाउस्ट आ रहे हैं, इंप्रेशनिज्म से इंस्पायर्ड है, तो ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है। ओके, दिस इज समथिंग दैट यू विल हैव टू रिमेंबर। फ्यूचरिज्म ऑन द अदर हैंड, फाउइज्म कलर्स से एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं, कुछ डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ पेंटिंग आपको देना चाह रहे हैं, therefore they call beast because you know they're trying to wild beast, they're trying to be a little irregular. फ्यूचरिज्म मशीन्स दिखा रहे हैं आपको, ठीक है। फ्यूचरिज्म क्या बता रहा है? फ्यूचरिज्म मशीन्स आपको एक तरह से दिखाना चाह रहे हैं। सो देयरफॉर दे आर ट्राइंग टू इंडोर्स वॉर, दे आर ट्राइंग टू इंडोर्स वॉर, मैस्कुलिनिटी, they're trying to in a way they're trying to promote this new style that is developing, the masculine style and cult, वो फ्यूचरिज्म से दिख रहा है, ठीक है। और फ्यूचरिज्म किसने कॉइन किया है? फिलिपो मैरिनीटी, फिलिपो मैरिनीटी, ये प्लीज याद रखिएगा। ओके, फिलिपो, यस देवशीष, वेरी गुड, फिलिपो मैरिनीटी। तो आप समझ रहे हैं आपने होमवर्क में क्या करना है, दोबारा से ये जो लास्ट वाला पार्ट है ना, जब हम लोगों ने 75 क्वेश्चन पे एंड किया है, लास्ट का 5-10 मिनट दोबारा देखिए, आप ये होमवर्क करके एक ही बार जाइएगा, क्योंकि कल अगर क्लास से पहले करेंगे तो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा। अभी माइंड में फ्रेश है, 5-6 बार सुन लिया है मुझसे और फिर आप लिख रहे हैं, तो ऑटोमेटिकली जस्ट स्टे इन योर माइंड ऑल्सो। सो फ्यूचरिज्म, फिलिपो मैरिनीटी इज एसोसिएटेड, इट्स endorsing misogyny, war, क्योंकि मशीन्स दिखा रहा है, वॉर वेपन्स दिखा रहा है ऑल टुगेदर। आपने वो अगर वो देखा है एनिमल के अंदर दैट मेड इन इंडिया का जो पूरा वो गन्स दिखाता है, तो दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ पेंटिंग अगर ये कुछ कैप्चर कर रहा है तो वो आपका एक तरह से फ्यूचरिज्म पेंटिंग के अंदर आ जाएगा। ठीक है, वॉटिसिज्म किससे एसोसिएटेड है? ब्लास्ट मैगजीन से एसोसिएटेड है। एंड हु आर द पीपल एसोसिएटेड विद वॉटिसिज्म? वेंदमैन ल्यूइस एंड एजरा पाउंड। ये क्वेश्चन हम लोगों ने कल ही किया था, आपके यूट्यूब या मास्टर क्लास में हम लोगों ने कल करा था, राइट? सो वेंदमैन ल्यूइस एंड एजरा पाउंड, दे आर एसोसिएटेड विद वॉटिस्ट मूवमेंट। वॉटिसिज्म से दे आर एसोसिएटेड। vortex, it is basically trying to tell you that modern reality is like a vortex. आप जितना चाहें आप उसी के अंदर खींचे चले जा रहे हैं, right? The living style altogether, you actually get absorbed over here altogether. That is what you're able to see. ठीक है, so please make a note of that. Please just make sure that you are having a proper idea about it altogether. So what is this? Benjamin Lewis as well as Ezra Pound. What is Blast magazine से associated है, तो ये प्लीज आप इसको थोड़ा सा ध्यान में रखिएगा। ओके, देयर इज आल्सो कंस्ट्रक्शनिज्म। कंस्ट्रक्शनिज्म अभी आप चिंता मत कीजिएगा, बट like I said, all your movements, your Taoism, your futurism, your vorticism, surrealism, dadaism को भी आप थोड़ा सा देख लीजिएगा। ये 5-6 मूवमेंट्स जो अभी मैंने आपको बताए हैं, अभी ही एक बार नोटबुक में सबसे पहले खुद लिख लीजिए कौन कौन एसोसिएटेड है, क्या मूवमेंट है। देर आर ऑल avant-garde modern movements all together that you're able to see, एंड फिर प्लीज मेक श्योर कीजिएगा दैट यू आर राइटिंग इट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन। ठीक है, आप इसको कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख दीजिएगा अच्छी तरह से, एंड ये आपका आज का होमवर्क है। सो आई होप द होमवर्क इज क्लियर टू एवरीबडी। I will catch up with all of you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the master class. This is the week where we are doing master classes in the morning, so just bear with us. Next week as it is आपका back to back वही schedule follow होगा 8:30, 10 and 10:30, so you don't have to worry about it at all. Fine. So please do this homework and come tomorrow. कल of course master class है, foundation batch में नया unit start हो रहा है, worksheets तो हम लोग करेंगे ही करेंगे, and of course tomorrow we'll continue looking at both your modernism and we'll continue with your 120 concepts also. Fine. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Take good care of yourselves. Akash, but you feel free to reach out to me on Telegram, or please feel free to reach out at my Telegram page. I'll put all the details also, so that anyone who wants to contact, please feel free to let us know. Please feel free to contact us if you're having any issues or whatsoever. Fine. Thank you so much everyone for joining, and of course Akash आप mail भी लिख सकते हैं neerja.raheja.faculty@testbook.com. That mail will also come to me. All right, thanks so much everyone. Good night, sweet dreams. Take good care of yourselves, and in case if there are any other doubts, please do keep me posted about that. Fine. चलिए, take good care of yourselves. Oh, okay. Here. All right. Thanks everyone. Bye.